All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in a state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. Thus, until I achieve Buddha, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until Bodhi is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until Bodhi is reached by the merit of generosity and other perfections. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until Bodhi is reached by the merit of generosity and other perfections. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. Bajra samaja, bajra samaja, bajra Samaja, protectors of all sentient beings without exception. Deities who vanquish the ruthless hordes of Maras, knowers of everything as it is. Bhagawans and your retinues, please come here. Argyam padyam pushpe dupe aloke gende. Nivide shabda Pratityasoha. This ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain, four continents, sun and moon. I hold in mind as a Buddha land and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure realm. Whatever slight virtue that may have been gathered through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching, I now dedicate to complete Bodhi. Namo to the Guru, the complete purity of phenomenal existence. I make offerings to you who manifest in the ground of phenomenal existence, and supplicate you for the total liberation of the three realms. Grant your blessings of dredging samsara from its very depths. Lord, wish fulfilling gem, ornament of my crown, beyond word and expression is your victorious mind. Endowed with the five superior primordial wisdoms, epitome of love, the one with kindness, precious protector of wandering beings. I supplicate you in the innate state of my mind, bless me in that state of suchness. Grant your blessings for realizing this primordially birthless and completely pristine mind as the Dharmakaya beyond thoughts. Now please go to the general laying aside. Alas, great Guru Vajra holder, and all you Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who reside in the 10 directions and 3 times. I, who am called Gunju Yishi Durji, supplicate you turn your awakened attention to me. From beginningless samsaric time until this very moment, under the power of the afflictive emotions, attachment, aggression, confusion, pride, and jealousy, I have committed the 10 non-virtuous actions through the gates of my body, speech, and mind. I have committed the 5 heinous crimes and the 5 secondary heinous crimes. I have transgressed the individual liberation vows, transgressed the precepts of bodhisattvas, and transgressed the samayas of the great vehicle secret mantra. I have been faithless and disrespectful towards the 3 jewels. I have been faithless and disrespectful towards my gurus and teachers. I have been faithless and disrespectful towards my father and mother. I have been faithless and disrespectful towards my companions in the pure spiritual life. I have abandoned the sublime Dharma and disparaged the noble Sangha. In short, I now lay aside all faults and transgressions whatsoever that have become obstacles to the higher realms and to liberation, and that have become the cause for samsara and the lower realms. Before you, the great Guru, Vajra holder, and all you Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions and 3 times. I expose the faults, I confess them, I am contrite, I regret them. I will not conceal them, I will not hide them. Henceforth I will restrain myself and abstain from them. If I do not expose and lay them aside, they will not be transformed. Therefore, by revealing and laying them aside, may they be cleared, may I be purified. Namo to the mandala of you, victorious Idam deities. Om, I expose and confess the broken samayas of the Vajra exalted body. Ah, I expose and confess the broken samayas of the Padma exalted speech. Hung, I expose and confess the broken samayas of the perfect exalted mind. Hri, I expose and lay aside the broken root and branch samayas. I expose and lay aside transgressions committed knowingly. I expose and lay aside transgressions committed unknowingly. The 3 non-virtues of the body, the 4 non-virtues of speech, the 3 non-virtues of the mind. I confess each of the 10 non-virtues individually with faultless disciplined conduct, possessing completely pure disciplined conduct, and through the disciplined conduct that is free of arrogance, may the paramita of disciplined conduct be perfected to glorious Vajrasattva. I pay homage. Om Vajra Sadosamaya Manubalaya Sadadeno Sarvadagada Mazrama Memunja Bajabama Azamaya Sado Samaya Palaya Padeda Dedo Memba Sudokaya Memo was a boy. Umbajara Sada Samaya Manubala Baza de Bajra Sada Samaya Manubala. Umbajara Sada Samaya Manubala De don't member was to go member was to Bogayo member and the member was over the members of Angamazu Benjamin. Oh, so what the Ragada Bezam, Samaya, de don't member was to go member was to Bogayo member and the members of the members of De do me baba su do kayo me baba su bo kayo me mama andu ra do me baba so ba zene me ma ja so ba kama su ja me ja so ba ra ga ba sa me me ja ba ja ba ma sa ma ya sa do a ba jra sa do sa ma ya ma no ba la ya ba so do de no ba de do me baba su do kayo me baba su bo kayo me mama do ra do me baba so ba zene me ma ja so ba kama su ja me ja me ja so ba ra ga ba sa me me ja ba ja ba Mahasamaya Santo Ombajra Sato Samaya Manobalaya Badon Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sabada Gada Besama Muja Beziboma Mahasamaya Sato Ombajra Sato Samaya Manobalaya Patita De Domemba Vasudogaya Memo Vasubogaya Memo Sabasida Member Sabakamasu Samadagada Besama Muja Beziboma Mahasamaya Sato Ombajra Sato Samaya Manobalaya Bazar de nobody that did the memo was the Dogama Subogaya. So was it a member of Sobagama Sujamajam? Some of the Besama Mujabezamo, Mazamayazano, Bazar, the Terbadida. The Domemba was Sudogaya memo was Sobogaya memo. So was it a member of Sobagama Sujamajam? Some of the Besama Jabezamo, Mazamayazado, Bazar, the Samaya Bazar, the Terbadida. De do member was Sudogayo member was Subogayo member one. So was it a member just of a commercial Jamaican? Oh, Baba, the best of my Jamaican woman has a Maya Sato, that's a Maya Matapala, the nobody ran the member, so the member of the member, so was it a member just of a commercial Jamaican? Chidam Triang Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savra Tata Gata Bazaman Jabeze Baba Mahasamaya Sato A Umbandra Sato Samaya Mandapalaya Bajra Sato Tenopati Dati do Memo was to go Memo was Uboyo Memo so was it a member of Gamazu Japan. Oh, Bhagavan Gata Bazama Jabeze Baba Mahasamaya Sato A Bajra Sato Samaya Mandapalaya Bazato Tenopati Dati do Memo Sudo Memo Zuboyo Memo Rato Memo so was it a member of Gamazu Japan. Chidamzre Ankuro Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tadagata Basamaya Muchabasima Mahasamaya Sado A Umbazara Sato Samaya Mandapalaya Basara Sato Tenopati Tatero Mebo Sutoka Muzubogam Mahasamaya Sado A Umbazara Sato Samaya Mandapalaya Badara Tenopati Tatero Mebo Sutoka Muzubogam Bajra Mame Munja Bajri Baba Mahazamaya Sado Bajra Santo Samaya Manubalaya Batana Denobadida Denamemo Sudomemo Subogamo Daratomemo Zelmima Savakamasu Jamajan Mizalangono Ao Bagan Sabadaragata Bajra Mame Munja Bajri Baba Mahasamaya Sado Bajra Santo Samaya Chilam Zerang Guru Hong Ha 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 Bagavan Sabadaragata Bazama Jabazam Samaya Sado Bajra Santo Samaya De do member was to go member was Uboga member one of the Basrama Mimunja Bazarbo Mahasamaya Sado Banzara Santa Samaya. Anurado member was it a member just of a Jamajan. Oh, what that got a Basama member Jabazarbo Mahasamaya Sado. By the force of cultivating loving kindness, cultivating compassion, we give rise to both aspiration and application bodhicitta vows, making the commitment to practice to arrive at the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of beings, for the sake of all beings. And we give rise to a commitment to practice the path to achieve this result. And principally in this context is to practice the creation and completion stages, whereby the creation stage consists of two elements: yourself arising as idam, the guru kept above your head or in the center of your heart, So turn up or appear in this world right now as the Buddha that you are. Turn up or appear in this form that can bring benefit to others. Whatever form of an awakened Buddha, whether it's Buddha Shakyamuni, Avalokiteshvara, co-emergent Chakasambhara with Heruka and Vajavarahi in union, Altara or Manjushri. Give it a form, give it a divine form, radiant, radiating the essence of bodhicitta, radiating the four immeasurables, affecting and attracting all beings everywhere to also move in this direction of recognizing their own nature as Buddha. Feel the presence of the Guru enveloping you, that you're guided by the kindness and the wisdom of the Guru. It's none other than the very essence of your own mind, but temporarily, for now, manifesting in various forms, in the form of human teachers that we meet, in the form of the sublime Dharma texts that we are introduced to, and Guru in the form of life experiences that have helped us turn towards the Dharma. Be grateful for the Guru appearing in all these guises. And so hold the Guru close to your heart. Make requests to the Guru to give their blessings so that you are able to cultivate your mind, relinquish the mental defilements, relinquish the afflictions, uncover the Buddha qualities stronger and stronger, more and more stable. Please go to the opening prayers document on page 16. This is the seven branch worship, the seven branch puja. So now towards the Guru, the embodiment of all Buddhas, past, present, and future, the very essence of your mind, we offer this seven branch puja. In all the worlds of the 10 directions reside Tathagatas of the 3 times before each of you, lions among humans. I prostrate joyfully with body, speech, and mind by the power of this aspiration to know deeds, all conquerors appear vividly in my mind with as many bodies as there are atoms in all lands. I prostrate to all you conquerors in each atom, Buddhas numberless as atoms, all in the midst of the heirs of the Buddhas. Thus I conceive of this Dharma Dhatu as completely filled with you, conquerors in this way, with infinite oceans of praise and oceans of diverse melodies. I sing the excellent qualities of all you conquerors and praise all of you gone to bliss with the best flowers and best garlands, best music, ointments, and excellent parasols, finest lamps, and superior incense I offer to you, conquerors, with excellent garments, and best fragrances, and sandalwood powder heap high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings perfectly arranged I offer to you, conquerors, these vast and unequal offerings, each and every one of you conquerors with the power of conviction and noble deeds. I prostrate and offer to you, conquerors, all the harmful deeds that I have done with my body, speech, and mind under the power of desire, hatred, ignorance. I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in all the meritorious deeds of all conquerors in the 10 directions and the heirs of the Buddhas. Solitary realizers, hearers still in training and beyond, and all wandering beings, you who are lambs of the worlds of the 10 directions, who have unobstructedly attained Buddhahood through the stages of Bodhi. All you who are my protectors, please turn the unexcelled wheel of Dharma. With palms together I earnestly beseech you who may intend to manifest final nirvana, please remain for as many eons as there are atoms in the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wandering beings, whatever slight virtue that may have been gathered through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching, I now dedicate to complete Bodhi. Then, at your heart center, single-mindedly and without distraction, focus on the blue bindu, the size of a mustard seed, luminous, and cultivate that. The instructions say, when a good state of samadhi arises from doing this, then relax in the natural state, not holding the object of focus, and rest for a little while. Then after a while, focus your mind again on that bindu at the heart center and cultivate that. Whatever thoughts arise, do not follow them. Instead, direct your mind to that bindu. Remember the three other places that you can place the bindu with the three corresponding colors. Yeah, so these four places where you could place the four bindus. Sinking the bindu down to the navel channel can be very beneficial to ground things, especially if some of us, when we focus too much in the heart center, sometimes it can kind of cause some anxiety, actually, for some people. So then sink it down to the navel center, understanding that life, begins there. When the fetus was forming, life begins there. Nourishment first, in this life started there. So then sinking the bindu down there can really help us cultivate a sense of safety, security, well-being. And then when downness or sinking happens, then you can pull bindu up the throat. And that is also related to the energy, of course, to the vital energies that course through our body, but in a more kind of vibrant way. If the vital energy at the navel center is more nourishing, more grounding, then this one comes up to the throat is more active and vital. So it can kind of brighten, it can help brighten things when too much of the grounding becomes dull. So anyway, this is the simple cultivating samadhi with science. So yesterday we started talking about without science. So there was a good question somebody asked later, in a message sent to me. Somebody asked, about a kind of a conundrum, related to this without science. But actually, this conundrum is exactly it. So I'll read you. When you realize you're having thoughts and you say, I must let them go, and then another, and then another, how does that part of you that realizes you're thinking and decides to let go of the thought actually let go? Because there are infinite layers. Underneath there's another layer that realizes you've become aware of the thought. Correct. That is the method. Keep dropping, keep dropping. It's infinite, then you have to go infinite. Keep dropping until there is nothing to drop. You say, it's possible? Yes. You have not dropped enough. And now, having said that, don't think, because then again, if you anticipate, oh, there's going to be the final dropping, that's another thought. And this is the method of thought eating thought. Exactly, that's how it's supposed to happen. This is why it's without signs, no crutches to hold. But you will keep creating crutches. You will keep creating crutches. And then you keep have to throw away the crutch, the crutch, the walking stick, Right? You keep have to throw away, throw away, throw away, throw away, throw away. Right? You keep thinking you're going to fall, you're going to fall. Yes, maybe you'll fall, but you get up again. So in some ways, not so easy. Yes, you're going to feel initially when you're not used to, you're going to feel exhausted. Yes, that's part of the process. I think too many of us have ideas about what meditation is or is not. Don't think too much about it. Apply the instructions. Do it. Don't pre-plan all the setbacks and success that you think you're going to have. And that means you're thinking about the instructions, you're not applying the instructions. Many of us, have to read many, many books about swimming, before we would even get near a swimming pool. But there are some of us, oh, swimming? I don't know what it is. Okay, let's go. And then jump in. Yes, Ivan. Let me.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Just one question. The other day I was practicing this,
Mm-hmm,
and I actually felt something
mm-hmm.
while I was on my chest. And when I was bringing the bindu up in the meditation, I got like a headache, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure if
sink it
it's like
down.
just
Sink it down. Sink it down.
discursiveness.
Sink it
Okay.
down.
Is it like the mind chattering, like discursiveness, or is it
Doesn't matter.
actually something going
Doesn't matter.
on?
Your job is not to uh, dissect and explain to someone else what's going on. Your job is to pay attention to what is going on and then find solution within that. Yeah. Oh, is it this? Is it that? All those is just more thoughts. That's not the instruction. The instruction is not to dissect. Oh, well, what is this? Oh, what is that? No. Stay with the bindu. And then you say, oh, there's a headache. Well, how can I stop that? How can I prevent that? Well, figure that out. Don't try to figure out, oh, what is this? So is this because la 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 la? Is this because thoughts are gathering? Is this because energy is gathering? Then that's not your job. That's not the task. The task is, if too much focus seems to bring something, drop it down here and see what happens. Ah, here it seems more comfortable. Okay, leave it there. Remember, the goal is mental steadiness, equipoise. The goal is not to write a book about what this means. The goal is samadhi. Drop it down here. Drop it down there. And then maybe, we don't know. You have to sincerely apply and find out. Maybe right now my circumstance is such that, in fact, without science, helps me to steady my mind much better. Then you go do that. Yeah, so even though, as I said yesterday, there is a certain linearity, there's a certain progress you're supposed to, if you were doing this, beyond every day 1 hour, but most of your life, most of your day, you are doing this, then we would not be rushing to this point yet. Maybe weeks and months would pass where you are just training with the blue bindu. And so when it becomes, it's sort of like, on one level you think, oh, there's so much going on. And then after you have passed through that level, you think, oh, now I sink down into a more stable level. But initially it seems more stable. But then as you become more sensitized to movements, you see that, oh, the initial, you know, stillness of the next level is actually not so still, because you're getting better and better at seeing the more subtle blemishes, so to say, and then you work on that. Then again, you sink onto, it's like a woodworker, using that analogy a lot. A woodworker, will see, right, all the flaws of something that he or she has created in ways that the person who isn't involved will not see. We always say, so you are someone who makes things. You'll see all the things that other people won't see. It's because you're sensitized to it, and that's how you will achieve, perfection in your craft, uh, because you become more aware, and then you take it to the next level. You take it to the next level. And so at every stage, so to say, without taking this notion of stage too rigid, too seriously, like there's actual states, but generally speaking, within each state, you will have a like, oh, this is really good, and then you'll notice actually there are still things, still distraction, still movement, and then you're able to work through that, and you sink again to a more subtle level of steadiness. Initially, it seems good, and then it's like, actually, no, there's still movement, and then you work and you work and you work until it's really steady. And so the goal here in this whole section is still to steady the mind, samadhi. And you're not yet directly training on seeing the kind of the characteristics of mind. That is the introduction, the characteristics of mind. But all along, we already have some notions of that being introduced right from the beginning. How I often, will lead people into experiencing some aspects of this mind. I said, the two. If you distill the 7 points of Vairochana's physical posture, then it's down to 2 points, which the Buddha mentioned in the Anapanasati. And it says, sit cross-legged, which means sit in a stable way, and then body upright. So that already there, in that physical pointing out. And the Buddha is already pointing out to these two qualities of mind. Empty and therefore still, unmoving, and yet appearing and therefore luminous, clear. So the seated, cross-legged, unmoving is directly related to the empty aspect. Upright body is directly related to the luminous, the clear light quality of mind. So right at, very basic instruction already, You are being prepared. Then through this process, you will directly encounter, not just as theory, but as something that you can actually hold in your hands, so to say. So there's one song, Tilopa. Let me read to you. At that time, the king heard that an emanated yogi had liberated Dharima, the prostitute. This is talking about Tilopa being sent by his teacher. At a certain point in his training, his teacher said to Tilopa, "Now you go to this town. In this town, there is a woman, and she's a prostitute. I want you to become her servant." This is the process that Tilopa needs to go through. Basically, in the daytime, Tilopa, that's where he got his name. Til is like sesame. Tilopa means the one who works with sesame seeds. So he was a sesame seed oil presser, pounding sesame seeds to get oil. Then nighttime, where his boss's business starts, then he has to sit there and escort these men to help Darima's business. So anyway, at that time, the king heard that an emanated yogi, a magical yogi, had liberated Darima, the prostitute. Riding an elephant, he arrived with a large retinue to see. The yogi, meaning Tilopa, and Darima were hovering in the sky at the height of 7 palm trees at the crossroads of the market. With the melodious roar of great Brahma, Tilopa sang this Vajra song. Sesame oil is the essence. Although the ignorant know it exists in sesame seeds, because they do not know the branches of dependent arising, they cannot extract. They do not know how to extract the essence, the sesame oil. Similarly, although the innate co-emergent wisdom abides in the heart of all beings, if the Guru does not point it out, it cannot be realized. So the Guru is not just pointing out this innate co-emergent wisdom, but the Guru is also pointing out, the Guru is also showing how to extract this oil. If the Guru does not point it out, it cannot be realized. Like the sesame oil, it remains, but it's not obvious, it's not clear. By pounding the sesame and clearing away the husks, the essence of the oil appears. Similarly, with the Guru showing the meaning of suchness, objects become one indivisible essence. Kieho, meaning how wondrous. The meaning difficult to fathom, though associated with for long, is clear right now. How wondrous. And so there is a commentary. Thus, although ultimately there is no difference between what is to be trained on the path and the relinquishment, nor result of relinquishment, relatively all phenomena depend on cause and effect. Tilopa taught this through the example of sesame and sesame oil. If one does not pound and press with the mortar, pestle, and the action of a person's hands, it cannot perform the function of oil, the utility of the oil. will not be there. Why? It is not from one cause. It is not from one condition. Everything arises from the gathering of the power of dependent arising. So this is where the path becomes necessary. Similarly, although the Dharmakaya pervades all sentient beings, if the Guru does not point it out and one does not train with the realization of that path, train to realize that path, then the result is not made manifest. Therefore, relatively, all phenomena depend on the dependent arising of cause and effect. Relying on the pounding of sesame, Tilopa expressed the measure of realization of the manifest wisdom of suchness. At that time, merely by hearing just the sound of the word suchness, all those gathered were liberated from the fetters of the mental defilements, of the afflictions. They saw the wisdom of suchness, attained the siddhi of kechara, meaning like going to the Pure Land, and it is renowned that at one time the land of Zahor, where Tilopa was active, became empty. Everyone poofed, achieved liberation. Zahor didn't have any people left there. So sesame seed and sesame oil. Yeah. Even the ignorant knows, oh, oil came from there. But until you are trained how to extract the oil, then just knowing oil came from those seeds is not going to help much. You have to learn how to pound. Okay, now let's do dedication. By the virtues collected in the three times by me and the entirety of samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtues, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain the unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Bodhi. Changchu Semcho Rinpoche. Ma ge ba na ge gu che. Ge ba nyam pa me pa yang. Gong ne gong du bell. So just an update, if you are registered for this weekend's program, again, we have a snow system coming, very unusual for this area. And so the Amitabha empowerment is not going to happen, but the teaching program continues. So I will teach further on Amitabha, the principle now of Amitabha, and more particularly the secret mantra kind of aspect of Amitabha, which is a little different in a way from the sutra emphasis, which we covered last weekend. In the end, they are two sides of the same coin, actually. It's not like, oh, this is lower, this is higher. But there are two aspects. They are the outer and inner. Just like we have an outer aspect, we have an inner aspect. So if we combine both of these aspects, the sutra and the secret mantra, then we have a complete approach. So the secret mantra emphasis is working with first, recognizing the mental defilement of attachment and all the other defilements related to attachment, and then how to clear attachment by working with attachment, which is the Amitabha principle from the secret mantra point of view. From the sutra point of view, it's renunciation. So all this emphasis, kind of, you could say, mythic language of going to the Pure Land, going to the Pure Land, going to the Pure Land. At the core of that is the resolve to become free, the relinquishment of attachments without relinquishing. So it says, if you don't vow, so that means if you're not determined to go to Sukhavati, then Amitabha alone cannot bring you there. That's talking about the importance of knowing how to relinquish. And then from there, Buddha gave further teachings on more subtle ways of how to relinquish, how to be completely freed from the clutches, so to say, of this attachment. Anyway, time remains the same. We'll start at 10, the local time here, and then we'll go to around 4, maybe a little earlier, but then there's a lunch break in between, an hour and a half to 2. So basically 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, more or less, is the program. So, okay, bye-bye. Tata, everyone.